Hello and welcome to the Full FX Unfiltered. My name is Colin Lambert and I am co-founder of the Full FX. And with me are two co-founders actually, Chris Jackson, Yorke O'Leary, co-founders of OptAxe. Lovely to see you guys.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yorke, I think I'll start with you. I guess OptAxe is a very new business. I think you're just coming out of startup phase. What is OptAxe about?
Sure. So OptAxe is a UK regulated trading venue, MTF, and our goal is to really maximise liquidity discovery and trading opportunities for participants by aggregating axes across the street.
Okay.
We're a disclosed ECN with an RFQ trading model, and we're really trying to get the banks to do as many of their trades that they want to do with their clients and participants directly.
So the hint's in the title, Axe.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
And I guess then, this is obviously FX options. You're kicking off with vanilla.
Yeah, vanilla, multi-leg. We're very quickly after launch, we're going to be doing first-gen exotics, so one-touches, digitals, things like that.
Can't go any further because I don't understand the rest of it. It's just fancy names to me. Chris, from your point, so where did the idea come from for OptAxe?
Yeah, it's come from a combination of frustration in the market and opportunity. And I think frustration really from all sides of the market. Yorke and I spent 20 years at the coalface, trying to sell these FX options, trying to talk to the clients. We worked at some of the biggest banks in the market. We had the opportunity to work with some of the biggest asset managers and biggest hedge funds. And the frustration was coming from all sides. It was trading, didn't know where these axes were going, which clients had seen them, what prices. Sales had no real way to ascertain feedback from the chats. Clients were either not seeing the axes or not responding to them. And really, most importantly, the clients themselves. They were telling us that they wanted to see axes. Axes are valuable, they're sensitive and they need to be treated as such, but they're valuable trades and the clients weren't getting access to all this information that they should be. And chats are really a very difficult place to distribute axes and to get feedback. And on the other side, the opportunity was really the market was changing. There's regulatory change, there's structural change. Regulatory change was obviously the cost of capital was increasing. Banks need to recycle more risk, internalization, topics you've covered well on this podcast. But we also saw that the market structure was changing from a client point of view. So the multi-pod hedge funds were growing exponentially, and salespeople had more and more touch points, and it was very hard for them to really have that one-on-one dialogue to really ascertain which clients were seeing which axes. So we thought there has to be a better way. So we built a platform. The opportunity is clear. You can distribute much more color, market intelligence. You can start to talk to clients about what they care about. The client gets a better user experience. They start to see the axes they care about, and they start to engage with the banks much more. Yeah,
is it actually? So at this stage, they're looking at axes from the liquidity providers. Does this somewhere you'll go to where clients can actually say, well, actually, I've got an axe to put in the market, or does that make everything a lot trickier?
Yeah, we want to be a bit agnostic as to who's leaving the axe.
Yeah.
We do think that most of the axes will probably come from the liquidity providers, the main banks, but more and more of the large asset managers and hedge funds have been hiring from some of the sell side, and these people are used to managing large books. So we definitely see a world where some of the end users, the hedge funds, are uploading their own axes, and that gives a good avenue for the banks to then consume that liquidity in a way that they, much like they struggle to distribute, they also struggle to collect that information as well. So we're trying to make that easier for them.
Yeah, because axes can be valuable to a bank trader as well.
Absolutely.
As you guys know well.
Yeah, and I think that if you look at the client base and how it's evolved, a lot of the clients are ex-market makers, they're ex-traders. They have market-making type books and they want to show that risk back.
Yep. It's strange to me because I'm sitting here thinking to myself, this kind of sounds a little bit like the start of internalization in FX options, which I guess starts with axes, isn't it?
Right.
And that's how you distribute that exhaust.
Yeah,
flow.
I think when you think about what the banks are currently doing, they've got fantastic single dealer platforms. We see ourselves as a sort of an independent, distribution partner for them. It's additive, not kind of in competition with, that they should be showing their access to all of their clients that are using those single dealer platforms. And for the ones that aren't, then they can hopefully come and use our platform.
Yeah, I mean, there's a broader, with all due disrespect to all the banks out there, it's a broader universe than just one institution, isn't it, in any market? So it makes sense to do that. So, I mean, we kind of touched on the problem that you're solving there, but, I mean, is it really one of, having a technology solution to actually bring more participants together, or does it go beyond that?
It starts off with solving that problem. We are trying to make sure that there's not trading opportunities being left untapped. The thing that really frustrates a lot of banks is that they don't have information on what they can't see. They can't measure what axes are being left in chats. They can't measure which clients are engaging with it. So trying to solve that is the primary reason we set OptAxe up. Yeah. But the market will evolve, and we see new players coming to the market, non-bank market makers, agencies are playing a bigger role. How do the banks and the traditional sell side and buy side interact? It's going to change, and I think building a platform which enables that change and allows that change is going to be beneficial for everyone. Yeah.
I mean, because the FX options market, it's interesting because I kind of thought this around this time last year after our London conference last year. My thought has always been, FX swaps are going to be the next electronification. And I suddenly sort of listened to the panels and spoke to people and suddenly thought, well, actually, is it going to be FX options? And it does seem to me as though there's probably the sell side and buy side are more willing to embrace technology in options than they do in swaps, which is, to me, an interesting turnaround and probably one from the last couple of years. But
I think you're right. There's definitely been a growing electronification in our space. Yeah. And where the single dealers have become very sophisticated, the buy side have also got much better at trying to find that price discovery. Yeah. And they're used to trading on platforms. They're used on different products, and different asset classes are probably even more evolved than FX. So there is room for growth there.
Yeah. Okay. Old spot trader question. So forgive me for this, audience. You can forgive me as well. Obviously, I look at options as a very bespoke product for a lot of clients. So does this require them to maybe look at buckets of risk rather than just, I want a specific axe in a specific date, specific delta? Because I would imagine that becomes a lot trickier to find.
Yeah, I think it is very difficult to find exact offsets. So we have kind of methods in the platform where you can look at that risk in a bucketed way. So you can look by Vega, you can look by Gamma, and where something is close but not quite right, then we can tweak that that contract and send it to the person who's axed it in the first place. Okay. So it does hopefully direct the right sorts of trades to the market makers who have listed those axes, so they cover most of their risk.
So there's an element of discretion in there if they want to actually say, actually that works for me.
And then this reflects what we were doing on the sales floor as well, which is making sure that we understand what our traders want to do, we know what our clients want to do, and then finding that kind of that path in the middle.
And it strikes me you're not really interrupting anyone's workflow.
No, we're trying to be additive, as Yorke said. Yeah. There are many different people looking for many different options during the day, but we can potentially increase that visibility. So by having more on the platform, it allows more liquidity, it allows more interest, and as the buy side starts to set up their own profiles to say, okay, these are the things I care about, these are the things I want to be alerted on, then it generates more interest, and so there's more chance that the sell side will be interested to leave more axes. Yeah. So hopefully it begets more liquidity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, liquidity begets liquidity, doesn't it? That's what they say. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but that's what I've been hearing for 20 odd years. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's probably about a year ago when actually you guys come on my radar, and obviously this is not a one-year project that you've been into. You've been going a lot longer. I think there are people out there that will understand the pain you've been going through. Where are you now as a business?
Sure. So we've got our license. We got approved by the FCA to operate an MTF at the beginning of September. So that was a lot of work.
It's a huge step, yes.
The application itself takes a very long time, and then it takes the FCA a long time to look at it. So we've sort of been going for 2.5 years in that process. And at the same time, we've been building the platform. So we've got the license. The platform's built. So now we're kind of engaging participants, and we found that the cadence of people, looking at the platform and the liquidity providers who have shown their interest, that cadence has increased since getting the license.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of reticence if you're not authorised. So getting that license has been a major boost for us.
Yeah, I can imagine it's probably opened the floodgates to a lot of conversations.
Yeah, it's definitely sped up.
Yeah. So, licensed, which is great, engage with clients, the platform's built. What's next? Is it really just about, okay, let's get out there, let's move from proof of concept to actual reality? What goes beyond there?
Yeah, we're very clear. We've got a defined set of goals that we want to achieve. Number one is to launch this with enough participants that it benefits everyone.
Yeah.
We know that we can't have all participants on day one, so we have to do some phased launches. We're working with a very good group of early adopters. They're keen to see it. So that's goal one, get that up and running. We want to make this a market infrastructure development. We want this to be something that we could potentially roll out to other products. We're very focused on FX options, but our Axe protocol that we're building allows us to go into swaps, potentially other asset classes. We're not going to do that yet. We're focused. No. We've got enough on our
Walk before you run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And FX options allows us to really work with the people that we know, the clients that we're used to, and the products we're familiar with.
I would add that we're kind of engaging the sales teams as well. We do see this as a kind of collaborative effort between sales and trading.
Yeah.
We want this to be an efficiency tool for sales to use as well, because they're all part of that process. So,
well, I wish you luck. As I say, it's been a year, so I feel part of the journey, which is always nice when you get people starting in this business. Lovely to talk to you today. Thanks very much for your time, and thanks everyone for watching. And we'll be back again very soon.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Cheers.